There is a force so steady, so unshakable, so commanding in its silence that it does not scream for attention, yet it moves mountains, bends history, and shapes destinies. It does not rely on luck. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It forges the moment. This force is not talent. It is not genius. It is not even passion. It is discipline, relentless discipline. The quiet fire that endures long after motivation has burned out. The steady hand that holds the line when the storms of life rise up against you. Discipline is the bridge between what is imagined and what is real, between desire and achievement, between wishing and becoming. Long before the weight of a nation rested on his shoulders, he was a man of humble beginnings, a rail splitter, a self-taught lawyer, a student of human nature. He understood that greatness is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate, consistent action in the face of distraction, temptation, and adversity. Lincoln once wrote, "Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other one thing." He did not speak of inspiration. He did not speak of luck. He spoke of resolution, firmness of purpose, unyielding determination. This is the essence of relentless discipline. It is easy to be excited when the sun is shining, when the applause is loud, when the path is clear. But discipline demands your allegiance when no one is watching, when the work is thankless, when doubt creeps in like a shadow in the mind. Discipline does not care how you feel in the moment. It does not negotiate with your excuses. It does not bend to your moods. It requires that you show up again and again and again. Understand this: success is not forged in moments of glory. It is built in the dark, in the early mornings when the world sleeps and you rise, in the quiet hours when you choose study over entertainment, practice over pleasure, focus over distraction. While others wait for motivation to strike like lightning, the disciplined create their own thunder with the steady beat of effort. Think of the great builders of history. Thomas Edison, who tested thousands of ways a light bulb would not work before finding the one that would. Henry Ford, who reimagined the very structure of labor through the assembly line, not with bursts of inspiration, but with relentless process. Walt Disney, whose first ventures failed, who was fired for lacking imagination, yet kept moving forward brick by brick, frame by frame, because the vision was clear and the discipline was stronger than the rejection. Discipline is not a punishment. It is not restriction. It is liberation. It frees you from the tyranny of impulsive choices. It liberates your potential from the chains of inconsistency. It gives you the power to direct your life with precision rather than drift like a leaf upon the wind. Without discipline, talent remains potential. With discipline, even the smallest talent becomes power. But discipline alone is not enough. It must be relentless, not sporadic, not when convenient, relentless. The kind of discipline that persists through fatigue, through failure, through frustration. The discipline that does not make promises it cannot keep, but shows up even when the passion is gone and the reward is distant. The discipline that says, "I will, whether I feel like it or not." His journey was not one of ease. He lost more elections than he won. He faced critics who called him unfit, unqualified, unworthy. Yet he did not waver. He sharpened his mind. He refined his words. He built his resilience through effort repeated and renewed. It was not the sudden flame of ambition that carried him. It was the slow, steady burn of relentless discipline. Relentless discipline is the refusal to surrender to the momentary pull of comfort over commitment. It is the daily choice to prioritize what matters most over what feels good now. It is the practice of holding yourself to a higher standard when no one else does. It is the courage to demand more of yourself than the world demands of you. This power lives within you. It is not reserved for the gifted. It is not the property of the lucky. It is available to anyone willing to claim it. But it does not come easily. It must be earned. And it is earned not in grand gestures, but in small, repeated acts of self-control. Every time you choose focus over distraction, action over procrastination, growth over comfort, you are building the muscle of relentless discipline. You see, there is a difference between wishing for a better life and working for one. Wishing waits, working moves. Wishing dreams, working builds. The dreamer lives in hope. The disciplined live in progress. Hope may inspire, but discipline delivers. When you understand this truth, you realize that discipline is not about denial. It is about direction. It is not about grinding yourself down to dust. It is about sharpening yourself into steel. It is the quiet commitment to the daily work, the unseen hours, the uncelebrated effort, the sweat behind the scenes that makes the performance look effortless. The sacrifice today that builds the success of tomorrow. There will be moments when the work feels heavy, when the world seems indifferent to your effort, when the progress feels too slow. But remember, the tallest oak was once just a seed that held its ground. Growth is not always visible, but every disciplined action plants a root, strengthens the trunk, prepares you to weather the storms that will surely come. Discipline does not remove difficulty. It prepares you for it. It gives you the endurance to keep moving forward when the ground beneath you shakes. It gives you the focus to stay the course when the winds of doubt howl in your ear. It gives you the strength to stand tall when the easy path calls your name. And the world will always offer you easy paths. The path of least resistance, the road of excuses, the trail of distraction. But none of these roads lead to greatness. None of these roads will build the life you are capable of living. Only the path of relentless discipline leads there. Only the path that demands your best, day after day, choice after choice. So stand firm, hold the line, build the habit of consistency. Choose the action that aligns with your highest vision, not the fleeting desire of the moment. Because in the end, it is not the loudest voice or the brightest spark that wins. It is the one who endures, the one who stays, the one who shows up, not once, but always. It is easy to admire the harvest, but few have the will to till the soil each morning before the sun rises. Many marvel at the finished monument, yet few bear the weight of the chisel and stone, shaping vision into reality, one strike at a time. This is the secret the world does not tell you. The glory is in the grind. The beauty is in the discipline. The prize belongs to those who endure the process without applause, without fanfare, without the need for recognition. Life was not defined by a single speech or a solitary act of courage. It was defined by years of persistence, of self-education by candlelight, of repeated failures that he turned into lessons, of letters written and rewritten, speeches honed and refined, debates prepared for with surgical precision. His rise was not sudden, it was steady. His greatness did not arrive on the wings of chance. It marched in step with his discipline. You must decide. Will you be a servant to your fleeting emotions or a master of your steady purpose? Will you surrender to the ease of the moment, or will you stand guard at the gates of your own potential? The world will tempt you with shortcuts. It will hand you excuses like candy, sweet, easy to swallow, but empty of nourishment. But understand this, there are no shortcuts worth taking. Every shortcut you accept steals from the strength you could have built had you stayed the course. You must decide. Will you be a servant to your fleeting emotions, or a master of your steady purpose? Will you surrender to the ease of the moment, or will you stand guard at the gates of your own potential? The world will tempt you with shortcuts. It will hand you excuses like candy, sweet, easy to swallow, but empty of nourishment. But understand this, there are no shortcuts worth taking. Every shortcut you accept steals from the strength you could have built had you stayed the course. Consider the blacksmith at the forge. The raw iron is useless until it has been hammered, heated, cooled, and hammered again. Each strike of the hammer, each blast of the flame, each plunge into the water tempers the metal, makes it stronger, harder, more resilient. Without this process, the blade remains soft, weak, brittle, and so it is with you. Without discipline, without the heat of consistent action, without the hammer of deliberate practice, your potential remains raw and untested. Discipline is the fire that tempers the soul. It burns away the impurities of doubt, fear, and laziness. It demands that you shed the parts of yourself that cling to comfort and mediocrity. It demands that you rise above the noise, above the opinions, above the chaos of the world, and answer only to the call of your highest purpose. And purpose is not found, it is built. It is carved out of the stone of your effort, shaped by the choices you make, one decision at a time. Purpose is not a lightning strike. It is the flame that you must tend to, day after day, breath after breath. And discipline is the hand that keeps that flame alive. The purpose is the better angels of our nature, but those angels do not sing without the work. They do not lift you without your reaching. They do not descend to meet you unless you rise to meet them. The better angels of your nature demand your labor. They demand your discipline. Let this be the standard by which you live, that your actions are not governed by mood but by mission, that your commitment is not based on convenience but on conviction, that you do not wait for perfect conditions, for the stars to align, for the world to clear your path, but that you move forward regardless, relentless in your pursuit, undeterred by the obstacles, unmoved by the setback. This is how the great are made, not by ease, but by effort, not by chance, but by choice, not by talent alone, but by the disciplined application of that talent over time. The athlete who trains while others sleep, the artist who paints long after the applause has faded, the leader who prepares long before the crisis arrives. These are the ones who understand that discipline is not something you have, it is something you do. In what you do, consistently becomes who you are. Your habits are the architect of your identity. Every small act of discipline lays another brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. And the strength of that foundation determines how high you can build. Without it, even the grandest dreams will crumble. With it, even the greatest storms will not shake you. So ask yourself, what are you building? What choices are you stacking, one on top of the other? Are they the choices of the disciplined or the choices of the distracted? Are they leading you toward your highest vision or away from it? Because in the end, your results will not reflect your intentions. They will reflect your actions. Discipline does not ask what you want to feel right now. It asks what kind of life you want to live. It does not seek comfort. It seeks clarity. And clarity is born in commitment. Commitment to the process. Commitment to the... Understand this. The race is not always to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to those who endure to the end. To those who wake each day and choose, once again, to keep going, to keep showing up, to keep doing the work. There will be days when the fire burns bright and days when the flame flickers low. But the disciplined do not rely on the fire. They rely on the will. They rely on the decision they made long before the doubt arrived. The decision that says, no matter what, I will continue. No matter how hard, I will persist. No matter how long, I will endure. Because relentless discipline is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is about progress. It is about showing up, even when the path is steep, the load is heavy, and the reward is not yet in sight. And in that showing up, in that quiet, steady, unbreakable commitment, you find not only the power to achieve your goals, but the strength to become the person worthy of them.